Go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Enjoy the show. Welcome to Agape and Eros, the show about love, relationships, and religion. I'm Bridget Richardson, and today we're talking about dating. Most first dates happen in a setting like this. Yay, coffee! Or this. Very fancy. And you know, with the first date, you never quite know what to do. Are you saying the right things? Did you wear the right thing? Who's this person's gonna be? You have no idea who they are, who they really are. So there's a lot of intangibles with first dates. So today we're gonna hear from Kayla, and she's gonna tell us about a blind date that didn't go so great for her. But we'll also hear from Larry Freeney with Rejoice Counseling about some ways that we could think about dating and make it more exciting and fun for ourselves. But first, let's take a look at how Americans generally feel about dating. This is kind of fun. According to a list of key takeaways on Americans' views of and experiences with dating and relationships by the Pew Research Center in 2019, most daters don't feel like their dating life is going well, and they say it's been hard to find people to date. And that was before the pandemic. Among the top reasons for this difficulty are finding someone looking for the same type of relationship at 53%, finding it hard to approach people at 46%, and finding someone who meets their expectations at 43%. Clearly, many people are unsatisfied with dating culture in the United States. So let's go to Larry Freeney to hear more about this phenomenon.
Now, if you're anything like me, and you've ever been on a date before, you've had some good dates, you've had some bad dates, you've had some great dates, and maybe some dates that you don't want to talk about anymore. And one of the questions I get a lot is, Larry, how do I set myself up for having a good date? Great question. When it comes to having a great date, a good date even, a lot of it's going to depend on the precedents that you set, right? It's like your intention.
Going into a date with the right intentions is huge, right? It's a game changer. So with this in mind, let's hear Kayla's story.
So one of the worst first dates that I've been on was actually a blind date set up by my mom, just because I wasn't very much into the dating world. And so it was a family friend's nephew. And so since we knew the family friend, he picked me up. And so on the way to dinner, he asked me, and he's like, have you had sex? And I was like, no, I'm saving myself for marriage.
Okay, we don't know this dude and we don't know his intentions, but this is a very weird thing to ask someone right off the bat. She just got into your car. You're probably within, half an hour of meeting her, and you're already asking about her sexual experience? This is a no-no. So Kayla, let's hear more of the experience.
He's like, all right, cool, I respect that. But then at dinner, he was like, do you consider yourself smart? And I was like, I mean, I guess, I hope so. And so he's like, good, because we want smart kids. And he's like, well, then we can live in Houston, or they have an office in Corpus Christi. And I was like, all right.
If we're thinking about intention, perhaps this guy and Kayla were coming from very different places, right? Maybe he was ready to build a life with someone and he wanted to cut through all of the fluff of a first date. And I get it, finding a spouse is major, but sometimes on a first date, you just need the fluff. You need the small talk. And especially, you don't want to approach someone with this heavy of a topic before you've even had dessert on your first date. So back to Kayla's story.
And so me not being into the dating world often went along with it, and me desiring that kind of love went along with it even more for a couple more dates, but then realizing with some guidance that I deserved to be loved better, and I desired more. I desired a different kind of love. And so yeah, it was just a crazy experience that lasted way longer than it should have.
Kayla really did learn something from this experience. She realized she deserved more, and she wanted more and desired more. Her date, however, maybe needed to look past just checking off the boxes. Maybe he needed to look a little bit deeper and see that he had this wonderful person in front of him, rather than trying to figure out how to fit her into his ideal of a wife, which can be even more challenging when you're dating people. So let's go to Larry for a conversation on intentionality in dating.
So a lot of times we put too much pressure on the date itself. oh, I hope I find the right person. I hope this is the right person for me. I hope everything falls into place. And what happens is we miss out on the journey for the expectation of the end goal.
We see this all the time, right? We substitute the journey in anticipation of our end goal.
A lot of times when we go on dates, we don't get to enjoy ourselves because we're so busy focusing on, am I acting right? Am I asking the right questions? And we miss out on the fun.
First dates are for just that, fun! If you start off with a laundry list of super intense questions right out of the gate, how are you ever going to know if you can have fun with this person? You want to build a life that you can enjoy with someone. You want to have the fun parts when you first meet them.
Another reason that we don't have maybe fun dates is that we kind of set our expectations low, right? What do? We go out for coffee, maybe a small meal, but we don't make it exciting, right? So what happens is a lot of times we get to associate the person with the excitement that we feel.
Now, there are studies about this, and it's true. It's super fascinating. Okay, continue.
Now, there used to be kind of a cheat code, a little shortcut that I used to use back in the day when I would take people on dates, is that you would want to take the person you were interested in on something that would increase their heart rate. So you want to see a scary movie, you want to go ride roller coasters, you want something to build the excitement, because with that heart pounding, the adrenaline rushing, they're going to associate you with that feeling of excitement, that feeling of that rush.
How many times have you asked a friend about their first date and they say, it was okay. And you're like, oh, okay, well, what did you do? And they say, we got coffee. I mean, I do love coffee, but Larry's right. It's sort of mediocre. It's kind of like that Netflix movie, Love Guaranteed. Damon Wayans Jr. goes on most of his first dates at the same restaurant, and he sits in the same spot and always has the same waitress, and then she starts critiquing the women he's dating. So Larry, what are some date ideas?
So you want to go to Topgolf, or you want to go to Astroworld, or, well, Astroworld doesn't exist anymore, Six Flags.
R.I.P. Astroworld.
Right, you want to do something exciting, go-karting, paintballing, something out of the ordinary.
Those are great ideas for dates. Use your creativity. And don't lose sight of the whole point of dating.
The primary goal of any date is to enjoy yourself, to enjoy life, right? Stoic philosophers would talk about finding gratitude in the moment. So it's not necessarily the event itself, it's not the date itself, but it's your belief about the date that has a positive or negative impact on the outcome. So if you believe, oh, I didn't talk enough, or oh, I said the wrong things, or oh, maybe I just talked too much and I didn't ask enough about them, then your belief is that that was a bad date, right? But that might not be the case, right? The other person might think that everything went well, and it's all about our beliefs. So instead of getting stuck in our head, right, we want to live in the moment. We want to be here in the here and now, be present and enjoy ourselves.
Dating allows you to explore spending time with someone new and really enjoy who they are. You can see the fullness of their attraction and your own. And isn't that what we're called to be in spreading the joy of the gospel? Attractive. You know, Pope Francis uses the word attractive or some variation of it in Evangelii Gaudium like 25 times. That's a lot. Here's one of my favorites. Everyone needs to be touched by the comfort and attraction of God's saving love, which is mysteriously at work in each person, above and beyond their faults and failings. This is still alive and well in the dating world. Show people how attractive you are through a fun and exciting date. And through that, you can reveal the mystery of God to someone by being attentive, by being deeply authentic to yourself, even on dates, even on first dates. And instead of always going on dates like this, try dates like this. There are some helpful links in the description about different dating ideas, and honestly, a quick Google search about fun dating ideas, even fun dating ideas during COVID, is literally like one click away. And also a big thanks to Kayla for her contribution, and she's going to be featured in the upcoming UST Encounter magazine, talking about online dating and what that experience is like for her. So I'll leave you with another quote from The Joy of the Gospel. I especially ask Christians in communities throughout the world to offer up a radiant and attractive witness of fraternal communion. Let everyone admire how you care for one another and how you encourage and accompany one another. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples if you have love for one another. That's it for now, digital disciples. And just remember, keep loving, be joyful, and stay hopeful.